welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny and you can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry as Honeybird Studio. Today I have a non-podcast video. Today I wanted to talk about some of my favorite summer knit garments and how I style them. And I feel like these kind of videos are really fun, at least for me, to put together because not only do I get to find new outfits for my summer knits, but I also, like today I have a couple of new to me summer knit outfits or spring summer knit outfits that I've been wearing the last couple of weeks, and then the other outfits that I've worn with knits from previous years. Those outfits, it's nice to just like refresh myself on like, oh yeah, I remember I really liked wearing this last summer. So yeah, so today's video is going to be about my summer knit wardrobe basically. I've knit a number of like summer garments, like spring/summer garments, but I think in order to keep this video relatively short or not as long as it could be, I just picked a handful of my favorites, and so I'll be going through those today. I also wanted to do a little bit of a giveaway, so I'll talk about that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get into the summer knit wardrobe. The first garment I want to talk about is a dress, and this is called Vilna by Natalie Pelykh. And the yarn that I used for this project is by Maurice Broussard, and it was their 100% cotton, or sorry, 100% organic cotton, and it came on these cones. And basically I'm pretty sure I used one full cone and then basically half of this one. I just weighed it on my kitchen scale and it says it's 113 grams left on this, but I don't know how much the cone, like the cardboard cone, weighs, so I'm gonna say it's like probably closer to 105, maybe 110. I don't know, I can't imagine the cardboard weighs that much, but in any case it's just about one and a half cones of this. And it's like a fingering weight cotton. So, yeah. So here is the dress. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to, it's a little bit wrinkly because I had it folded up. But this is the dress. It's like a midi length, I suppose. It's like just above my knees, if I remember correctly. It's got this lace detail on the bottom, along with the lace detail on the top, on the front and the back. And on the back it has these 4 buttons that close the left and the right back. Or did I get that backwards? The left and the right. So with this dress, hold on, let me think about it. I talked about it in my previous podcast episode. So if you want to hear more about like the process that I went through for knitting this dress, I recommend watching that video. The outfit, actually, I feel like I've got 2 outfits for this dress, essentially. The first one was, I wore the dress with a waist belt. It's like a brown color, like brown leather, well, it's not leather, but it's a brown waist belt, and my brown soft mock boots, and I thought that looked really cute. And because I finished this in the spring, I went to the tulip fields, I guess it was like a month or 2 ago. So the weather was still kind of like in between. It was a little bit mild. So it wasn't too hot, but it wasn't too cold. But it was just right to wear a cardigan with. And so the outfit I put together to wear to the tulip fields was the dress with the boots, the waist belt, and the Carly cardigan that I knit earlier this year. And I feel like, oh, and then also I had like a tan colored hat that I wore. And so I'll put in a picture of me at the tulip fields. It's not the best picture, unfortunately, but it's the only picture that I got from that day. Or the only picture I got from that day of myself. Every other picture was of the tulips, basically. So that was the first outfit, basically, that I put together with this dress. And then I had a viewer on my podcast video say that I probably could get away with not wearing the waist belt, because my reasoning for wearing the waist belt was because I did knit one size too big. So there is a little bit more positive ease than I would have liked. However, when I wear the dress by itself, I feel like it actually it does look good. Like the person who commented on my video said that the shaping of the dress looked fine without the belt. And so the outfit I put together is pretty basic. It's my soft mock boots with the dress by itself and a tan hat, that same one that I wear, or that I wore to the tulip fields. And I feel like it seems like a pretty basic outfit, but it's super cute, and I feel like it's really summery. I feel like the brown, tan, beige tones all go together. And the other thing that I paired with this outfit for when I am out early in the morning or later in the evening when it cools down is like this blue lightweight fabric. I don't know if it's cotton, but it's like a lightweight fabric, blue sort of blazer type of thing. And so I put that together with this dress too. And I feel like the color, like the off-white of the dress with the brown, like stonewash, no, it's brown boots, and the tan hat, I feel like those colors go well with this sort of navy blue blazer jacket type thing. So I would have preferred, I don't have any like brown cardigans, or I mean, aside from wool knit cardigans, I don't have any like lightweight fabric cardigans that I could have worn with the dress. So this is what I came up with. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the dress. I've worn it, I think I've only worn it twice, but it is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I could not wait to wear it out to the tulip fields because I felt like it was such an appropriate attire for that day, and I'm really excited to wear it to future events. I like events in the sense of like maybe going out for like dinner or somewhere for drinks or something. I don't think I'd wear this out if I knew I was going to be sitting like at the park on a bench or a picnic blanket or something, because I am just a little bit concerned that I might stain this or get it dirty, because I'm not too sure about getting stains out of cotton. And yeah. Anyways, so that is my Vilna dress. And the next thing I want to talk about is another finished object from this year. Actually, I finished it a couple weeks ago, and that is the Rota jumper. And this is a pattern by Irene Lynn. And the yarn that I used for this is yarn from Stash. It is the Karen cotton funnel cakes. I did not pay $15 for this. This was like a limited, I don't know, there was a time a couple years ago that Michaels had limited runs of different Karen cakes, and this was one of them. And when they went on clearance for maybe $5, but the cake was a bit bigger than this. And so I decided to knit it in a Rota jumper. And so I'll show you what I've got here. One sec. Let's see. Okay, that's the front. So actually, I'll put it on a hanger. So this is my Rota jumper, and this is the 5th one that I've knit so far. The first 3 I knit were out of acrylic yarns, and while I did get a lot of wear out of them a couple years ago, I guess it was like 2-3 years ago when I knit them initially, I guess it was 3 years ago at this point. The acrylic yarn does not lend itself well to warm weather or like hot weather. It just, even though it has like this pattern has a lot of like holes in it from the lace, it still felt, you know, when the acrylic would touch my skin, it would feel like, I don't know, just not the greatest feel on my body. And so I have designated those Rota jumpers to being at home casual loungewear. But I really enjoyed this pattern a lot. I knit one for my sister-in-law, and in cotton, and so I was like, I have cotton yarn, I should knit another one for the summer, for the spring summer essentially. And so I finished this one, and I pretty well wore it the day that it came off the blocking mats. So the outfit that I put together for the Rota jumper is my black dress and my charcoal, like dark colored runners, or not, they're not runners, sorry, they're shoes. They're Allbird shoes, and they have like a white sole and like a almost black but more like charcoal gray black wool fabric for the shoe part, essentially. And I feel like this look has a little bit of a sporty vibe to it, and I don't know if that's just because the shoes have a sporty look to them almost. But the reason why I picked the black dress for this top is because while the warmer, let me try that again. As the weather gets warmer, I feel like even though this is 100% cotton, it is a worsted weight cotton, so it is a little bit thicker, right? And so I figured as it gets warmer out, I can wear this early in the morning, and throughout the day, if I get too hot, because I'm wearing a dress, I can just take the jumper off and I'll be okay to just wear my dress. And basically I was thinking like, oh, if I wear shorts and a bralette, like I would normally wear like a ripple bralette, like the ripple bralette by Jessie May Designs. I have them in like 6 different colors, basically. I've knit a lot of them. But generally the way I wore my Rota jumpers before was with a ripple bralette underneath and then the jumper over top. And I feel like that was a really cool look. However, when the jumper gets too hot, I don't really want to take the jumper off and just be in a bralette. It's not really, I don't know. It's not really my vibe unless I'm like even if I'm at the beach or whatever, I don't know. There's a couple times I've worn the ripple bralette with shorts and it's kind of a cool look, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm into that vibe at the moment. So that, again, sorry, all that to say, the reason why I chose the dress is so that I could take the jumper off if I get too hot. So yeah, so that's the Rota jumper. This is, oh yeah, the construction for this is top down. So you knit the back panel first, so you knit the back, and then you pick up for the left front, and there's some short row shaping in the shoulder here. And then you pick up the front right, and then you cast on stitches to connect the front pieces. And then once you get down to here, you can see it's definitely cropped. And basically you knit maybe like, what is that, 4 more inches? Or well, technically you knit 1 more repeat of the pattern, and then you go into the ribbing. And then you pick up and do the sleeves. And I chose to do the 3/4 sleeves that's in the pattern. I believe it's also written to accommodate for long sleeves. I think it's essentially for the full length sleeves, it's just 1 more repeat. It's either 1 or 2 more repeats. Like this sleeve looks really small, but because it's a drop shoulder, it does come down. You'll have seen in the picture, it does start, oh my gosh, further down. Yeah, so that is my Rota jumper. The next garment I want to talk about is a t-shirt, and this is a t-shirt called Lexa, and this is by Hanna Maciejewska, and I believe I knit this a couple years ago. The yarn that I used I actually got from a thrift store, and it was handmaiden yarn in their sea silk. I got really lucky. I think I paid maybe $10 max for 2 skeins, and I believe these actually go for $40 to $50 Canadian. So I really lucked out. But anyways, this is Lexa. It's hard to see here, but there is a lace motif that goes across the chest here. The construction for this one was interesting. I have not done a construction like this before. Essentially, you can see that it's a scoop neck, or like I'm assuming it was called like a scoop neck or something like that, because it's scooped on both the back and the front. There's not short rows to raise the back. Instead, you start with like each one of the shoulders and you do short rows, and then you cut the yarn, you do the other shoulder, cut the yarn, and then at some point you connect the pieces together, and you do the same thing for the front. Like it's probably easier to see here, like because the lace starts right here, so like there are short rows in this part here and short rows in this part here, and then at some point I think you knit across here, you cast on some stitches, and then you pick up and knit along the other shoulder piece. So it was a really interesting construction. I will say there was about maybe 8 to 10 ends to weave in, or maybe 12, I don't know. It was just a lot of ends to weave in, which wasn't my favorite, but I do like the way that this fits, and I would definitely knit this again. I do believe I made a mistake in the lace up here, but that's okay. It's barely noticeable. But you can see dye lot change. I did do helical knitting throughout here with the second skein, but I used one skein for the top and then helical knitting once I got in the round, and then once I ran out of the first skein of yarn, it was a solid color for the other one. It's like more muted in the second skein than it was in the first skein. But yeah, so for this outfit, I actually picked two outfits. And the first one I put together was with my brown shorts and I believe my, oh wait, let me just double check. I did write it down. Oh yeah, I wore I wore my brown shorts with my Bluntstones. They're kind of like a brown gray stonewash color for my Bluntstones. I feel like it goes with like everything that I own. But because the length of the Lexa is a bit longer than I would have liked, I mean, I feel like I liked it at the time that I knit it, but I'm leaning more towards like shorter, like not as long tops, not necessarily like crop tops, but just a little bit longer. Sorry, just a little bit shorter than what I had been knitting before. And so with this outfit, I've done a French tuck, but in the back, there's still a lot of fabric. Like if I could have taken out an inch or two of length, I feel like it would look better, but it doesn't look bad. I do really like this outfit. I think it's very, I don't know, there's something about it. I almost feel like if I had the right hat, I feel like I'm being like going on a safari or something. I don't know what it is about this. Maybe it's the brown shorts that gives me that vibe. I don't know. They're like a dark brown, but in the daylight, they're not as like dark as they might look in this picture. The second outfit that I put together is my favorite outfit to wear with this top, and that is with my green, my long, what am I trying to say? My long green skirt, my high-waisted long green skirt. And so the first picture that I'm going to put up is with the Lexa top untucked, so you'll see how long the top is. And I don't mind this look. I feel like it almost makes me look taller, maybe. I don't know. There's something about it that like I don't mind wearing it untucked, but my favorite way to wear this outfit is actually with the shirt fully tucked all the way around and just a little bit of like the fabric billowing out, not by much, just a little bit. This is the outfit that I've worn at least a half a dozen times, this even like just this year, like over the spring, and I'm excited to wear it more in the summer as well. Perhaps not on the hottest days. On the hottest days, I'll probably be wearing the shorts. But on the days like today, well, I guess technically it's not summer yet. We're still about 10 days out, 9 days out from summer. But like days like today where it's like overcast and it's not really like that hot out, I would wear this outfit. So yeah, what else can I say about this? I feel like I could, like, this is a versatile top. I like in the sense that I could probably wear it with my jeans, my capris, and my blue jean shorts and stuff like that. But these two outfits are just the ones that are like my go-to and my comfort zone essentially. I should probably try and branch out and mix and match more pieces of my wardrobe, but that's what I have so far. So yeah, that's my Lexa. The next t-shirt that I want to talk about is the Outline Tee. And this is a design by Jessie Made Designs. The yarn that I used for this project is Holstgarn Coast, which I believe was a mixture of cotton and wool. If I remember correctly, I think it was like maybe like 55% cotton, no, 55% wool and 45% cotton. I'm pretty sure it was more wool than it was cotton, but don't quote me on that. It's been a while. I knit this last year, I think. But this is my Outline Tee. It's super cute. I wore this a lot last year, and I really want to knit more of these. I do have a second one, but I would like to knit like a third one and a fourth one. I feel like this just is very versatile in my wardrobe. The construction of this is bottom up. And so basically, after you knit the ribbing, you do a little trick at the bottom where the drop stitches are supposed to stop. And basically you just knit stockinette around, and then you split for the back and the front, or like the back and then the front left, front right. And then you seam it up. There's like short rows up at the shoulders here. And then you I think it was like, I think I want to say a 3-needle bind off or something. I can't quite remember. But basically you seam these together somehow. I'm assuming it's got to be a 3-needle bind off. And then you drop all the stitches. Oh, sorry. You can drop the stitches as you go when you finish each of these panels. But I chose to put them on lockable stitch markers. And I finished the whole thing. And then before weaving in the ends, I did all the drop stitches. And it was very satisfying to see all the, like basically all these drops happen all at once. Well, not all at once, sorry, one by one, but all in the same sitting. And so my go-to outfit for this top is actually a pair of beige shorts with giant pockets. They look like linen shorts, but the fabric is not linen. I think it's more of like it's got to be a blend of like cotton and polyester, or I don't know, some blend of fabrics that is certainly not linen, but it gives almost a similar look to like a heavy linen, I guess. But I paired this with my beige Allbird shoes because I feel like this, I don't know, there's something about this vibe that like just screams summer to me. I do wish, like, the color is like a heathered purple, and I think that's what helps like pull the look together. If it was a solid purple, I feel like it would give a different kind of vibe. I'm not sure what the vibe would be, but it wouldn't be as summery as I feel this particular look is. And what else can I say about this? I wore this a lot last year, and I feel like because of the size that I knit, I believe I knit like the size 2, or the second size. It did have more positive ease on me than I would have liked, and so I kept that in mind for when I would cast on the next one. And I guess that's like pretty much all I can say about this one. So I'll move on to the next outline tee. The next outline tee is one that I finished this year. I actually just finished it very recently, and I knit it out of yarn that I picked up from Valley Yarns, I think on local yarn shop day. And it was this Juniper Moon Farm Maryland. So this is the ball band. Oops, sorry, let me get my face out of there. Come on, focus. There you go. And I believe this cost just about $30 for the one ball of it. And it is 57% organic cotton and 43% polyamide. And this is how much I had left. How much is in the ball? There's 503 yards or 460 meters. But yeah, I believe this is about 5 grams left. Anyways, so my second outline tee, I knit in the first size because I didn't want to be playing yarn chicken, so I knit a size smaller. Not only because I didn't have as much yarn as the first one, but because I also wanted a smaller size to have less positive ease. And so this is what my second outline tee looks like. And I am obsessed with this. I've worn this already at least half a dozen times, probably a dozen times. I've probably worn it like twice a week, every week since I finished knitting this. But let me take it off the hanger real quick and show you the sparkle. It's got little tiny sequins in it, so you can see. Oh, sorry, let me get my face out of there. So these little tiny sequins. It's not quite like gold. I wouldn't say it's quite rose gold, but it's like a more muted gold, I would say. And so for this one, my favorite and my go-to outfit is with my pink skirt and my beige Allbirds. And I feel like I probably could even put my tan, like the tan colored hat that I have on if I'm going to be going outside in the sun. I feel like, I think I've talked about this look before, but this, like in my podcast, but it's like, this is one of my favorite looks for the spring this year. And I want to carry it into the summer as well. Actually, now that I think about it, I have a pair of pink shorts that I think, like in that same color as the skirt or a similar color of the skirt, that would go really well with this top. So I won't make any promises, but if I remember while I'm editing this video to put in a picture of the shorts, I'm assuming it's gotta look good. It's gotta look good. The shorts with the beige Allbirds and this top and the outline tee, basically. I think that would be really, I think that would be super cute. And so the only thing I'll say about this yarn is that because of the sequins in it, it is a little bit itchy sometimes. And I can imagine as the weather gets warmer and my skin gets more like when you get hot, basically, I feel like your skin becomes more sensitive, or at least for me, my skin becomes more sensitive to tactile like stuff, like feeling like my clothes and stuff like that. And so I feel like with the outline tee, it does have like a V-neck, like a very like basically it's like this. So it's not on the most sensitive part of my neck, but I can imagine that if you were to knit something out of this yarn that's like higher up, like a crew neck or something, that it would probably be a little bit irritating on the chest and on your neck. So just keep that in mind if you're planning on knitting with this yarn. I'm not 100% sure that would be the case, but because I've worn this already like a handful of times, like at least half a dozen times, I have noticed just the little prickly bits like around my shoulders and stuff. Not really on my body because it is a little bit more oversized, but that's what I'll say about that. So yeah, that's it for my outline tee, or like my 2 outline tees. And so the next couple of projects I want to talk about are tank tops. So let's get into tank tops. The first one I actually knit twice, and this is the Streamline tank, and this is a pattern by Alexandra Tavel. And the yarn that I used for both of these is the Lion brand Trubu, and this is the ball band for it. I went through a phase of knitting things with Lion brand Trubu. I crocheted a beach cover up, or like a bathing suit cover up, and I believe I knit another top out of this yarn, but I feel like it lends very well to the tank tops that I knit, the 2 Streamline tank tops. And so this is the first one. Let me just get this on here. So this is the first Streamline tank that I knit, and I knit this pretty well 2 pattern, except I did not do the split hem on this one. I wasn't sure about my seaming abilities, and so I just started the seam all the way at the bottom. The construction of this one is bottom up, so you start with the ribbing, and you knit each of the front and the back the same. So basically, yeah, you're knitting the same piece twice, and then you're putting them together and seaming them. I believe I did on the top, instead of binding off after the straps, I left them on hold, and when I got to the top of both straps, I just did it looks like I did a 3 needle bind off. And yeah, so it's got this really cool like slip stitch ribbing here on the front. The back is exactly the same, and then the down the sides it has that as well. And this is probably, I would say this one's my most worn summer garment that I wore last summer. Before I show the outfit, I will show that this yarn, like, it doesn't pill too much, but I have noticed that there is a little bit of like fuzzy parts. And I think this is the back, because I have like a crossbody bag that I wear, and I normally have it sitting like on my side or my back, and that's where like it rubs up against, and I think that's why there's some, wrong way, and that's why there's some pilling on here. Also, I need to reblock this because it does have a line from being folded all winter. And the outfit I put together with this, I technically have 2 outfits, but they're essentially the same thing. It's black shorts with my charcoal Allbirds, and the other pair of shorts that I have that's not pictured here is essentially the same. They're black shorts, but they have a bigger tie around the waist, and so I could technically tuck the shirt in, but like these shorts are the ones that I generally wear with this top. And technically I wear this top with like my jean capris as well, and my jean shorts, but for the most part last summer, the most comfortable outfit that I could wear was this one. And so I feel like, I don't know, there's something about this color that goes with black really well. I feel like it's just like, it's such a punchy color. Like, this is my jam. Like this, I don't know if it's like terracotta pink or like raspberry pink or whatever it happens to be, but this is the color that I want more of in my wardrobe. I like just pinks in general. Pink, black, beige, white. Like, there's something about that color palette that just speaks to me, essentially. And so that's the first outfit that I put together, or like that's the outfit that I normally often wore with this tank top. And now I'll show you the second tank top that I knit, or the second Streamline tank that I knit. The second Streamline tank that I knit was also out of Lion Brand Trubu, and I knit it in a lighter pink. So this is it. Again, another color that's certainly part of my wheelhouse, if I do say so myself. This one I did make modifications, so instead of knitting this flat front and back, I actually knit it in the round. So, and I did do a split hem. And so what I did was I knit the back ribbing, I knit the front ribbing, and then I did a lot of thinking and not a lot of math, but just a lot of thinking of how to do the side. So I've got, because when you, oh yeah, I feel like, yeah, when you seam it up, you're technically seaming, you're not deleting, but you're getting rid of 2 stitches, one on each side essentially. But it looks like here I just opted to add extra stitches instead of taking away, which is interesting because I thought, my initial thought was that I would do less because those 2 stitches wouldn't be there, but it still worked out. But yeah, so I knit it in the round all the way up. I did make some mistakes under the arm because I had to really think about that as well, but I'm not too concerned. It's not very noticeable. It is noticeable on this one. There's a huge gap there. I did not do a good job of that. There's a few modifications I'd make to this in the future if I knit it again. But the outfit I put together with this is kind of the opposite of the previous outfit. This one is with my beige, like my not frilly, but my fancy beige shorts. It almost looks like a skirt. It's got like some embroidery or like lace looking embroidery on it, and it's got a tie. And then I wore my beige Allbirds with this. Like that look is like the opposite of the previous look. It's like, it's night and day, or day and night, essentially. This one feels a lot more summery to me, whereas like, I don't know, like the other top with the black shorts, I feel is very summery as well, but this one especially feels more summer vibes, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the outfit that I put together with the Streamline tank, and I feel like it's something that I wore. I wore the first outfit more, like with the darker pink, more than I wore this one, but I feel like I'm probably leaning more towards this outfit for this summer because I am kind of leaning more towards the lighter colors and going away from like black, like the darker colors. I think, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens this summer. Maybe I'll do an update at the end of summer of like how much I wore my knitted garments. Okay, so I've got 2 more tank tops to show. So let's keep the show moving along. My next tank top that I want to talk about is the Fleur Cami, and this is a design by Brianna Mason. The one that I am going to show you, I knit out of, well, technically the first one I knit was too big, so I'm not going to show that one. I did wear it a couple of times last summer, but I had to really adjust it all the time, and so I knit it again in a smaller size. The yarn that I used is the Maurice Broussard Cotton, so it's like, I can't remember the percentage, but it's some percent cotton and some percent linen. I want to say maybe it's a 60-40, 60 cotton and 60 linen. And so it's this kind of like army green, I guess. Maybe it like, I don't know, the light coming through is kind of skewing the color. But anyways, so I knit, this one's the second one that I knit, and it turned out a lot better. It fits so much better than the first one I knit. It actually has the negative ease that's recommended in the pattern. I did have to go back and readjust the straps because I knit them like half an inch too short. I needed literally just a little bit. I thought I could block it out, but it did not stretch in the way that I thought it would, or didn't stretch as much as I thought it would in the straps. And so I just I unpicked the bind off. I think I used a 3 needle bind off. I unpicked it and then knit like about a half an inch and then bound it off again, or like 3 needle binded off. Yeah, I really like the way that this turned out. The construction for this one is bottom up, and so I believe I knit this one longer than what's recommended in the pattern, because I think the first one I knit 2 pattern, and it just was like just slightly a bit too short. And like I said, the first one was a little bit too short, so this one I knit a little bit longer. Yeah, bottom up, and then you split for the front and the back, and then you split for each triangle. It's the same on the front and the back, but in the pattern, you do the straps only on the front. I'm pretty sure you only do the straps on the front, and then you bind them off, or you connect them to the back pieces. So that's what I did for this one, or at least that's what, yeah, that's what looks like I did for this one. Anyways, the outfit that I put together for this is like a super casual look. It's my jean capris with, I believe I used my beige Allbirds because I did dress it with generally I would wear it with my gray Allbirds, but those have come to the end of their life. And so the beige Allbirds are taking its place. And I feel like this is a very like casual look. Anyways, that's kind of the outfit that I put together for this one. Nothing super fancy. I think because this top has the negative ease, I feel like I'm a little bit more limited in what I can wear this with. And so like I have only been wearing it with my jeans lately. But I'm knitting a third one, and I'm knitting it in the same size, but I've gone up a needle size. So I'm hoping that it'll give me just that extra little bit of ease that I'm looking for. Not necessarily like positive ease, but just a little bit less negative ease. So yeah, so that's my Fleur cami, and yeah, I've got one more tank top that I want to talk about. The last tank top that I want to talk about is the Ancient Orchid, and this is a pattern by Anna Daku. When the pattern was released, a friend of mine, Yasmin, had test knit this pattern, and when I saw hers, I was like, oh, I just fell in love with the pattern, and then I went and looked at the project pages, and I was like, I have yarn, I want to knit this. So the yarn that I used was Knitting for Olive in the, oh my gosh, what was this? Pure Silk, yeah. And the colorway is Sunflower. And I only used just under 2 balls of it, and this is how much I have left. I think it's like 6 or 7 grams left. So I knit the smallest size, and I even went down to a much smaller needle size as well. But this is the Ancient Orchid, and I did make some modifications. Oh, I made one modification. I talked about it in my previous video in my podcast, but the biggest modification I made basically was that I didn't do the back panel, or like the back piece that's in the pattern. I opted to pick up stitches from each of the straps and then cast on. Like pick up here, cast on here, pick up there, and then I did some ribbing. And then I followed the pattern after that. This was the 3rd time I cast it on, and I finally got something that fit me properly. If I had done a gauge swatch initially, probably could have avoided that, but I enjoyed this pattern so much. You start with the straps, and you do the left front and the right front, and then you connect it, and then I went back and picked up the straps, worked way down, and then into the round kind of thing. So this part was really fun with the little picot edging. But I've worn this several times since finishing it. The outfit that I put together, my favorite outfit that I've worn this with is my long pink skirt with the white dots on it and my Bluntstones. And so this is what it looks like. And I feel like this was one of my favorite, like, girly, feminine outfits to wear. I mean, yellow is very much like, it's an out there kind of color, and it's actually a surprise color for me. When I knit the Lexa initially, I was like, I don't know if this is going to look good on me. And then when I wore it, I was like, oh, I think yellow is part of my wheelhouse, actually. And so I was excited to knit this tank top in the Sunflower colorway. And so I mostly wear this top with this skirt, like this outfit here, but I have worn it with my jean capris, and I've worn it with jean shorts as well. I think it goes really well with my blue jeans, essentially. I haven't really played around with this top outside of those 3 bottoms, essentially, but I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite summer. Like, I mean, I've worn it already this spring a number of times, but I feel like this is something that I'm definitely going to bring into the summer and get a lot of wear out of, and probably play around with my wardrobe a little bit more. I wish I had like a beige or a white skirt, because I feel like this would look really good with that too, with the beige Allbirds. But yeah, so that's it for all of my like basically my favorite summer knits that I've been wearing either recently or have worn last summer, and I'm excited to get more wear out of them. And so now I want to talk about my future plans, or basically my plans for this summer. Yes, my summer 2025 knitting plans. So for this summer, I've picked out 4 patterns that I want to knit. 4 patterns that I want to knit, and then 1 self-drafted pattern, or like, I'm sorry, 1 self-drafted design, basically. So the first one I want to talk about is the Rota sleeveless top, and this is a design by Irene Lynn. The yarn that I want to use for this pattern is a new to me yarn. Well, I mean, I've heard of this yarn before and I've seen many people knit with it, but it is the Sandnes Garn Lena. And this is in the raspberry pink colorway. And this is just like this looks very similar to my Streamline tank, the first one that I showed. And so I was going through the project pages on the Rota sleeveless top, and I saw that there were people that had knitted out of this. And I have wanted to try this. I have wanted to try this yarn for a long time. And so I picked up, I think, six of these balls. And I was actually really good not yesterday, sorry, it was 2 days ago now. I actually swatched. But the funny thing is I didn't swatch in the pattern that the pattern page suggests. Because I've knit the Rota jumper, I wanted to swatch in the actual pattern. And so I did 1 repeat of the pattern. And this is what it looks like. And I really like the gauge that I'm getting. I like how airy this is. And so when I measured my gauge, I even wrote it. I'm so good. Oh, is that upside down? I was so good. I even wrote it down on a little piece of paper. So on 4mm needles, I got 21 stitches in pattern and 32 rows. Albeit I didn't knit 4 inches of this. What I did was when I measured my rows, I measured 2 inches of rows in here, and then I just times it by 2, so I have a rough idea of what my row gauge is. And so now I can confidently pick the size that I want in the pattern and know that it's going to fit the way that I want it to fit, as opposed to throwing caution to the wind and hoping for the best, which I feel like I've gotten lucky more often than not in getting a final project or a final finished object that fits me the way I like it to fit. So yeah, the construction of this sleeveless top is the same as the Rota jumper. You knit the back panel first, you knit the back first, and then you pick up for the left front, the right front, and you knit them, connect them together, and then at some point you connect them under the round. But with this pattern, there is I believe there's like a cable cross under the arms, like in the ribbing under the arms, and a split hem. And I really like that look, and I'm debating whether I want to do a cropped version or a longer version. I think I'm going to decide when I get there, when I knit enough of it to try it on to see how far down I want it to go. I haven't really thought of any outfits for this, but I do have a vision in my mind that I want to wear this over a flowy white skirt. I feel like with this color over a white skirt, or even like a beige skirt, or like a linen skirt, I don't know, it would be super cute. I think that would be fantastic. So I'm really excited about this one. My reward for filming this and editing it and uploading it is to cast this on. Technically, this is the second time I've filmed this video. I did film yesterday and I edited the whole video, but I didn't like the end result. So here I am. I did cast it on, but I'm not going to show it because I'll show it on the podcast. So look forward to that in the next podcast video. But yeah, so I'm excited about this one. I'm excited to get back to working on it. My reward today is to get back to working on it once I finish editing this video and uploading it to YouTube. But yeah, so that's that. My next plan for the summer is it's the Skyline Tee by Tori Yu. And this is another project that I actually swatched for. Well, technically I made the swatch and then I picked the project afterwards based on my swatch. And so the yarn that I initially wanted to use was just holding this, I think it's Rico Design Creative Make It Tweed. So it looks like, oh, let me get my face out of the way. So it's this tweedy yarn that's blue, dark blue, and pink. There's a teal. I don't know. It's got lots of colors in it. Not a lot of colors, but like pinks, blues, and yeah, mostly pinks and blues. Anyway, but when I tried to swatch it by itself, because it's so thick and thin, it was really annoying to knit with. And so I went through Stash and I found this that I picked up at Fibers West. This is, I'm gonna assume it's just 100% cotton. And it looks like I paid $12.50 for it. But if I can get my face out of here. But yeah, it's just this cone. It's got 1,680 yards on it. And it's this really, really nice like sea foam color, I would say. And so I held these together and I swatched them up on a 3.25 millimeter needle. And this is the fabric that I got. So you can see how the tweed yarn, like it adds all these flecks into the yarn, or into the swatch basically, and it looks like a tweed yarn. And so for this one, I got 3.25 millimeter needles, 25 stitches over 34 rows, and stockinette stitch, knit flat. I don't know if my gauge really changes in the round versus flat. That's something that I might have to like check out in the future, but maybe swatch in the future. But this is what I got. And so what I did was I went on to Ravelry and I searched up, I used the search function where you can put in your gauge, like your stitch gauge, and then it'll bring up patterns in that stitch gauge. And so that's where I found the Skyline Tee. And I'm excited to knit this because initially I wanted to knit a stockinette t-shirt out of this, but I couldn't find one that was gonna fit this gauge. And so this t-shirt will work out for me because not only do I like drop shoulder like construction, but I also like saddle shoulder construction. And this particular pattern looks like it has a saddle shoulder construction. My only concern with it is that like it's a ribbing on the saddle shoulder, and I'm not sure if if this is gonna be too busy to see the ribbing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, the worst case scenario is you just don't see the ribbing, which is fine because initially I wanted to have an all over stockinette t-shirt anyway. So I really enjoyed knitting this up. It definitely knit up way better holding these two together. And not only that, but when I tried to frog this, like my little swatch that I made out of this, it was so annoying to pull apart. But when I had to pull this one apart, or like early on, it was so much easier to frog having held the two together. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be my next cast on after the Rota sleeveless top. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to have a t-shirt because I feel like t-shirts, well, like the outline tee and the Lexa, like I wear those a lot also. Like, I mean, tank tops as well, but I'm excited to have a t-shirt. So yeah. Okay, my next project is going to be a tank top, and this is the Maia summer top by Bella Helms. And this tank top actually comes in two versions, one with a peplum, or like the ruffles around the bottom, and one without. I'm going to knit the one without the ruffle at the bottom. And the yarn I'm going to use for this is the Make It Tweed was also new to me, but this is also new to me. But this is the Sandnes Thin Lena. Oh, let's see. Thin Lena. Okay, so I've seen people pronounce this as Tin Lena. But when I did a little bit of research and I tried to figure out exactly how it's pronounced, and according to what I found, there was like an Instagram post that said it's pronounced Thin Lena, which makes sense because this is the thinner version of Lena. So just throwing that out there, I could be wrong. But it makes sense that it would be Thin Lena, but maybe it is pronounced tin. Anyways, so I was really good, and I just had a swatch party the other day. I was like, I was on a roll, so I kept going. And I swatched up in the moss stitch. What did I say? In moss stitch on 3.25 millimeter needles, and this is the gauge that I was getting. I did not hit gauge for this pattern in particular. I am off by 2 stitches. So I got, on 3.25 millimeter needles, I got 25 stitches over 34 rows. But I don't know, I know I don't want to go up another needle size to 3.5 millimeter needles, because I feel like this is already pretty, like, not transparent, but it's like it's already kind of like see-through. I feel like when I'm wearing this though, it's not gonna be as transparent. Plus I'll be wearing like a bralette underneath anyway. So yeah, so I'm excited for this pattern. I believe the construction for this one's very interesting in that I looked through the project pages and it's knit from the bottom up, but it is knit like you cast on all the stitches and you are knitting the whole thing. And then I think at the end is when you seam up the side, like the maybe it's the front. There's like a faux button band, I guess. I think. I don't know. I was a little bit confused on the construction, but when I looked at project pages, it looked like people had cast on the entire amount of stitches and worked up. So this one's I'm gonna have to really think about the size for this one based on my gauge, because I will not be able to try this on as I go because it is knit flat. I'm assuming from the project pages, it's knit flat. From the pictures that I've seen, it's knit flat. So I have to be very cognizant of the size that I'm going to knit and how it's going to fit my body. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's one of 2 tank tops that I want to knit. So let's talk about the next one. The next tank top that I want to knit is the Ilana camisole, and this is by Masha Ziablikova. And I'm going to be knitting this out of Knitting for Olive Merino. And I know this isn't technically a summer yarn. This is in the snowflake colorway, so it's like almost not pure white. It's not like a bright white, but it is a really nice white. But I got 2 balls of this, and I was looking on Ravelry of what I could knit with just 2 balls of Knitting for Olive Merino. And the Ilana camisole was it's been in my favorites for a while now. I wanted to knit it last summer, but I didn't get around to it. And so I'm hoping to get around to it this summer because I really like that it has like bust shaping. In a sense, like the way that it's, the cables are shaped around the bust, it looks like there's bust shaping. And from what I've seen from other people that have knit this is that with the negative ease, it does, like it fits the body. Like it does, with the ease and the way that the cables are, it's like ribbed cables, or like it's basically little mini cables, or if they're like mock cables or maybe something like that. But essentially that fabric really hugs the body really well, because I was concerned about the bust shaping, because the last time I knit like a bralette that had bust shaping, it didn't work out for me, and so I've been a little bit like hesitant about that. But I think because of the stitch pattern that's in this, being that it's like ribbed cables or like cables within purl stitches, it's gonna actually like be a little bit more form-fitting. So I'm excited about, like, I'm saying like I'm excited about that, but like I'm interested to see if that actually fits my body better than the previous project I knit with bust shaping. So but yeah, so that's, I feel like the color that I picked, the snowflake, like the kind of like not really off white, but like this kind of like toned down white, if that's one way I could describe it. Not toned down white, I don't know, it's a nice color, and I feel like I can fit that in my wardrobe with my pink skirts 100%, even with maybe some of my dresses, wearing over some of my dresses. I don't know. We'll see when I finish it. So yeah. Oh, right. I have one more thing that I want to talk about. And that is my own self-drafted design. So let me find the pieces for that. Okay, so I've had a piece of clothing in my wardrobe for a very long time that I cannot seem to let go of, because I just really like, it seems to me like a little bit of it's one of the more unique pieces that I have in my wardrobe, and I wear it every summer since I bought it like over 10 years. It's got to be over 10 years ago at this point, or just about 10 years. But that is, oh, came off the hanger. But that is this top. I call it my dream catcher top because it's got a dream catcher on it. But the reason why I really like this top is actually not necessarily the front, but actually the back. And it has this here to stop it from falling open completely, but it has, like, the way that the fabric is that it goes down one side and then it twists around itself and goes back up the other side. And so it's not double twisted, right? And so the right side of the fabric here actually turns into the inside over here. But because it's a solid piece of fabric, there's no difference between the two. And so I wanted to kind of deconstruct this and knit something similar. And so that's what I did. So let me show you that. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I knit this out of a new to me yarn, Cascade Botanica. And so, oops, this is the front. It's pretty uninteresting. It's just straight stockinette. I knit these in panels, and so I knit the front piece first, and then I picked up stitches on the, no, did I pick up? Yeah, and then I picked up stitches up here, and then I knit, oh, basically, okay, sorry, let me try that again. I knit the left part first, and then I knit the right, and then I connected it, and then I, did the body, or like the front piece, and I did the back piece. Basically, I picked up the stitches, and I knit one panel with lace all the way down. I don't know. I like this. I've already worn it a couple of times, but as you can see, like the lace, because of the way that the fabric is, I did a Kitchener stitch on the bottom to connect the two panels. And I thought that blocking would fix this part here, but I think my gauge differs between stockinette and the lace, and so it sits so much more, like there's so much more fabric here. So I already have written some notes for this of how I want to do the next one, but I feel like this turned out super cute. If I remember, I'll put a video in here, the one that I posted on my Instagram here, so you can kind of see me wearing it. I believe I was wearing it with my beige shorts, like one of my go-to pairs of shorts for summer, because they seem to go well with everything. And so my plan for this one is that I want to knit it again, but with several modifications. And so I picked up this yarn, another new to me yarn. This is Jody Long Summer Delight. So it's this green. Now I don't have much, I mean, aside from that Fleur Cami, I don't have much green knit tops and stuff. So I feel like this is a good green. I feel like this is a good green for me. And I feel like it would go well with the skirt, like my pink skirts in my wardrobe. I don't know, there's something about pink and green together that just, I don't know. I really like it. Like the colors, there's something about that is so satisfying. Anyways, so I was gonna knit my second version out of this yarn, but then I thought to myself, maybe I want to knit it out of a lighter weight at a smaller gauge, because I think I knit this on 3.25 millimeter needles, but I think I could go even smaller to like 2.5, like I have with my Fleur camis, and knit it out of this Maurice Broussard Cotton. Oh yeah, it's 60% organic cotton and 40% linen. And this was $15.90 at Fibers West. So it's just beige. Like it's the same, almost the same color as the top that I'm wearing. But I'm wondering if knitting a lighter, like knitting in this, it's like lace weight essentially. Knitting it in this might be better. It would take longer, but I think the construction, the way I have the modifications or the changes in my mind, that this might actually be better for this garment than I think this is like a DK. Yeah, this is like a DK weight. And I feel like that's still thick. Like I want to knit more with like thinner yarn. So I think I might go with this. And then also on that topic, just putting it out there, if anyone's interested, let me know. But I'm thinking of doing a project vlog for this pattern. Or no, I'm not going to be writing it up as a pattern, like to publish or anything. I'm just self-drafting, having fun with it. But I was thinking of doing a project vlog for it, kind of like following my process from like sketch to my notes and my modifications, and basically everything, every step of the way I want to vlog. So let me know if that's something that's interesting. Leave a comment below if that's something that you'd watch, or I don't know. Maybe I'll do it anyway, or I'll probably will do it anyway. But let me know. It does feel good if people say yes. Anyways, okay, so that's it for my outfits and my summer plans. And so now I just want to get to the giveaway for this video. Basically, I was gonna, so what I want to do is give away a pattern on Ravelry of your choice. up to $15 Canadian, which I think is like $11 to $12 US, if that helps. I mean, I don't know what that would be in euro, but $15 Canadian, essentially, give or take a dollar or two, whatever. But I think most patterns are between $10 and $15 Canadian, so I don't think that'll be a problem. But anyways, the question that I want to ask is okay, there's two. You only have to answer one, whichever feels better. My questions, so one of two questions you can answer down below in the comments to enter to win a free pattern, or like win a pattern of your choice from Ravelry. So either answer one of these two questions. One, what is your favorite summer knit that you have knit either this year or last year or in years previous? Basically, like what's your either your favorite one that you've knit or your favorite one that you've knit and you wear the most. The other question is, if you're not really a summer, spring knitting kind of person, but you tend to go towards other crafts or other hobbies, let me know down below what you're doing this summer, whether it's focusing on gardening, maybe embroidery, or maybe you do puzzles, whatever it happens to be, let me know down below, and that will enter you in for a chance to win a pattern from Ravelry. Yeah, okay. I think that's all I wanted to say. This video has gotten really long. I really tried to keep it short, but I always tend to like elaborate on the things that I'm talking about. So hopefully in editing, I can like cut this down a little bit. But I think that's all I want to talk about today. My next video should be a podcast video. So I will be catching you up on my progress for my summer knits and some of the previous knits that were on my needles from the last episode. But yeah, before I start to get even more rambly, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you got this far, that's awesome. I feel like my videos have become marathons and not like, they're much longer than they used to be. I'm really trying to keep them short. But yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button, and if you liked watching this and you're not already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. That'd be great. And yeah, until next time, happy knitting. Bye.